Hi everyone. Well, it's nearly mid-June and I just wanted to do another economic update. I know I've spoken with several potential clients and they do have concerns about the housing market and if there will be a crash, if there's going to be a crisis similar to what we saw in 2007 and 2008 and the years following as we tried to recover from that. And I know that most people already know these things, but I'm just reviewing why things are different now. So the main thing is that back in 2008, the government tried to help by taking action with the banks, kind of from the top down, rather than the bottom up. So it left homeowners with the foreclosures and the short sales as a result from having bad loans previously written, and they were just underwater and could not handle those mortgages. This time around in 2008, the government really heavily regulated the banks. And so that's why when you go in to get a loan, there's a lot of stipulations now, and they're much more careful before they give out loans. So we have not seen very many foreclosures or short sales at all, even since the pandemic and people were losing their jobs. Another factor as to why it's very different is that this time when the crisis started from the pandemic, the government really helped from the bottom up. It went directly to homeowners and offered extra tax incentives and credits and programs, especially the PPP program and the American Rescue package that kind of, if you'll remember, when basically every American was given $1,400. Well, that resulted in people actually kind of growing their savings and depositing more money into the banks, which created kind of a safety net for the country. And so even though small businesses are really suffering since the pandemic and they're slowly getting back on track, so there is something to be said for that, but it seems to have prevented any sort of housing crisis. We're kind of just tapering off. And interestingly, I was reading an article. It was from Keeping Current Matters, which is a good online source to find out data about housing and things. But they had a great chart just depicting the crash and how many of the banks failed in leading up to 2008 and then 2009 and 2010, 2011, 2012. It was all really bad, but it started to recover in 2012. And since then, it's been going down, down, down steadily all the way to essentially nothing. And that remained the same in 2020. So we're in a much safer spot right now, and the rates are still so incredibly low. Your money is cheap. It's a great time to buy or list your home. And especially if you might be selling and then holding out for a little bit to see what happens this next year, that would be best. You might be selling at the perfect time, holding onto your money really high, and then getting back in when it dips a little bit as we take a correction. But as it stands, housing prices have continually risen, so anytime's a good time. That's your update.